Hi, fourth grade. I'm back with a couple of chapters of Gold Rush Girl. We're on chapter 5. When I told my brother what I intended to do, he became a willing, if wide-eyed, accomplice. I also think he felt better knowing that I would be with him in California. Still, my plan had considerable risks. I might be noticed by my father and put ashore. Being a stowaway, I might be accused of a crime, and the captain might lock me up in the ship's brig, therefore bringing shame to myself and my family. I might so distress my mother as to set back her recovery. I might be discovered by the crew of the Stephanie K, and once at sea, tossed overboard, and, God preserve me, drown. Worst of all, I might fail in my endeavor and be forced to remain in dull Providence with my Aunt Lavinia. But I had read widely, and thus I had come upon what that great American Benjamin Franklin wrote: "Nothing ventured, nothing gained." I presumed that most passengers on the ship would be men. Would I not be able to steal my way aboard by being dressed as a young man? Did that not make me uneasy, fearful? Of course. But I, choosing happiness over dignity, was so determined to go to California that I pushed all such worrisome thoughts away. How was I to do it? Remember that I had been able to save my earnings, such as they were. Recall that father had refused them. My honest wages became my means to find my dishonest way. Once again, I ventured to town, this time with Jacob at my side. I searched out a shop in the Providence business district that sold used articles of clothing. I told the shop clerk that I wished to purchase inexpensive work clothing for my non-existent older brother. Since he's about my height, I added, and I being tall for my age, I can try them on. The shop assistant eyed me with blatant suspicion. But I explained, my brother is too busy working to come and try them on himself. I bought a man's collapsible tall hat. I bought shirt, trousers, jacket, and boots, and carried them all away. They were previously used, and visibly so, but that only added to their value. A disguise was best when it was dingy. As soon as we returned home, it was easy enough to stow the clothing at the bottom of Jacob's trunk. With my masquerade at hand, my scheming was almost done. All I needed to do was wait for father to embark upon the Stephanie K and sail away to California. But there was one other precarious thing that I had to do. I must tell my mother of my intentions. Why did I have to tell my mother? Because I simply could not vanish. My disappearance would upset her to the extreme, and it would be harmful to her death. No, she needed to know about the secret enterprise upon which her courageous daughter was embarking. But what if she said no? It was a hazard I had to risk. If a girl must put faith in one person, it should be her mother. But then, our house having been sold, mother and the rest of us were installed in my Aunt Lavinia's house on Benefit Street. Stuffed as it was with her heavy furniture and drab colors, heavy drapes in the windows, it made me feel as if we were living in a dim and crowded mausoleum. There, father all but waited on my aunt, always agreeing with whatever she said. It made me ill. Then, too, Aunt Lavinia checked my clothing daily, looked to see if my hands were clean, and asked me what I intend to do each hour. You are not my mother, I protested. Your mother is weak. She is ill because of your foolish father. If I required any more motivation to escape Providence, my Aunt Lavinia supplied it every moment of every day. Finding a time when mother and I were alone, she resting in bed, her red shawl around her, me holding her hand, I told her what I conspired. As I revealed my plan to her, she looked at me with astonishment until the moment came when she outright cried, "And do you truly think you can do this?" "I will do it," I said, working hard to show my own eagerness and none of my private unease. "Won't you be in great danger?" "Father will be there. and Jacob will too. But, Mother, you know how Aunt Lavinia stridently disapproves of me, everything I do and say. She makes this a distressed household, a source of continual irritation to your health. And remember, I reminded her, you originally agreed that I should go with Father. Mother did not contest my view. Rather, she said, but who will tell your aunt of your whereabouts? Tell her that at the last moment. Tell her that Father changed his mind and brought me along. Mother, I pressed, remind her that Father and Jacob know nothing of housekeeping, cooking, nor cleaning. I can do all of those things. She will approve of that. Besides, we both know I am no use of you here. Then I added my decisive argument. Mother, I prefer to be happy rather than dignified. Mother smiled and squeezed my hand as much as her strength allowed. Young ladies today, she said, are much more daring than they were when I was your age. Yes, I can see you being of assistance to Father and Jacob. They certainly will need a woman to run our very fine new home. That was hardly my desire nor my plan, but once again I kept my thoughts to myself. I went down on my knees and put my hands in a prayerful position. Mother, will you join us as soon as possible? In my heart, I believe all will go well. Mother, may I have your permission? She gazed at me for a long while with sad but loving eyes. Then, with much tenderness, she said, happy the mother who can admire her daughter. I give my permission. I leaped up and hugged her. Then she unwrapped her favorite red shawl from her shoulders and presented it to me. Wear it so I can always embrace you, she said. In other words, Mother was agreeing to keep my secret. Of course, having a Kladenstein plan is one thing. Now, putting it to work is quite another.